So, once again, welcome to Philadelphia. My name is Lieutenant-Colonel David Salisbury Frank. So, when George Washington first took command of the Continental Army in a place called Cambridge, Massachusetts, he ordered some of us up north to what became known as the invasion of Canada. It did not go well. We were broken into two groups, General Montgomery, Colonel Arnold, Captain Morgan, but we failed. Meanwhile, Washington goes down to New York and attempts to defend New York in '76. In July 4th, 1776, when we learn of Declaration of Independence, Washington is in New York. We would actually not learn for a few more days. We lose New York, and Washington retreats back to Pennsylvania. And then, in December of that year, he attacks Trenton and Princeton, Christmas Day. He then retreats back again, and we don't do a lot of fighting for that whole winter. In '77, the next year, late, the British come towards Philadelphia. We have battles at Brandywine, at Germantown, small skirmishes around Philadelphia. Finally, in November, December, October, the British take Philadelphia. Congress runs away to York, and Washington wants to station his army somewhere nearby where he can still harass the British, but not so close that they'll attack him. So he chooses a place called Valley Forge. Unfortunately, he still thinks it's too close. He reinforces it. He builds a defense line, but the British never wind up coming to Valley Forge, and the Americans never wind up trying to take back Philadelphia. At that time, two things happened during that winter. One, General Gates wins the two battles at Saratoga. We win battles at the Northern Campaign, and the French join the cause. So ultimately, the British decide to abandon Philadelphia, I want to say May or June '78. They go back to New York, and we retake the city without ever having a battle. All right, so after Valley Forge, we had been trained in the art of war, and we go into New Jersey and we attack the British on their way to New York at a battle known as Monmouth. And after the Battle of Monmouth, New Jersey, there is a large period of time, 79, 80, 81, there are not a lot of battles. Both armies are sort of waiting for the others. The British stay near their ships and will attack our coastal cities. Camden, South Carolina, and Charlestown fall to the British. Richmond is attacked, though I do not think it falls. Meanwhile, I have become a diplomat, and I am traveling with a man named Dr. Benjamin Franklin in a place called Passy, France. But Washington eventually catches up with the British, and they do have a final number of battles. Guilford Courthouse, Cowpens, and eventually the final major engagement, the Battle of Yorktown. Right, well, the French joined the cause in '78. Franklin negotiates a treaty with the French prior to my arrival in France. But what you have to remember is that prior to the war, we as Americans were not allowed to manufacture anything. Everything we bought was made in England. So, for example, the hat I'm wearing, this is a beaver pelt hat. The beaver pelt would have been probably caught by an Indian out west. It would have been shipped through Fort Pitt to Philadelphia. We would then have shipped it to England. It would be made into a hat there and shipped back. So we can't make hats, but we also can't make guns. We can't make gunpowder. So even after the French joined the war, not only do we need support and supplies and money, we use 90% of the gunpowder that we use in the American Revolution is produced by the French. What Trenton does, it's '76, Washington he's held Boston, and the British have left without a fight, without a real fight, with the cannons brought from Ticonderoga. So now Washington has gone to New York, and he's lost every battle. General Montgomery has lost the Fort Quebec and has died. General Washington has lost New York, and we haven't really got a victory yet. So what Trenton does in December '76, that is Christmas Day, is it affirms that the Americans can win. In other words, for a little while longer, Washington can keep his job. You have to remember there were a lot of forces working against Washington. Later, he will once again have his job threatened in a thing called the Conway Cabal. But it is Saratoga, the victory of General Gates, which finally convinces the French to join us. I want to say we find out about the French. It's odd, by the way, it's not just the French supporting us. It's not just the French declaring war on the English. It's certainly not just the French giving us money and supplies. The real key is the French recognize us as a country. And that is the most important thing they can do. They acknowledge the existence, the sovereignty of the United States of America. But I want to say, let's see, that's after Saratoga, that's 78. I want to say it's April, May 78, somewhere around there. May, I want to say, don't quote me, I believe, and this was many years ago, that on May 18th, 1778, we received word at Valley Forge that the French alliance had taken place. I believe it was May 18th.